Hey everyone, welcome back to Switch Top. Today I'm counting down 50 Nintendo Switch games that you absolutely need to play. These are the titles that define the console and offer some of the best gaming experiences you can have right now. Let's get into it. Demonschool is a tactical RPG that mixes demon hunting with managing a group of college students who discover their campus sits on top of some seriously bad supernatural stuff. The story follows your crew as they balance classes during the day while fighting demons at night. And you'll need to build relationships with your team members to unlock their full potential in battle. The combat happens on a grid, where you move your characters around and use different abilities. But here's the cool part. You can pause time to plan your moves, which takes away that pressure of making split-second decisions. Each character has unique skills and personality traits that affect how they work together, so choosing the right team composition matters a lot. Between missions, you'll explore the school, talk to other students, and make choices that impact both your relationships and the story's direction. The art style is really striking, with bold colors and comic book-inspired visuals that give it a distinct look. Combat requires you to think about positioning and combos rather than just attacking blindly, and managing your resources like health and special abilities adds another layer of strategy. Absolum stands out as one of the must-play action titles on Nintendo Switch, thanks to how smoothly it blends side-scrolling brawling with the replayable structure of a roguelite. The game drops you into a struggling fantasy world where a resistance group rises against a ruling power that controls magic. And each run lets you push deeper through branching areas filled with tough enemies and unpredictable encounters. You pick from 4 heroes with very different rhythms. A necromancer-style warrior who mixes sword swings with summoned spirits. A dwarf who chains punches and firearm bursts, a nimble assassin built around mobility and precise strikes, and a frog mage who brings flexible ranged spells. Combat feels weighty with guard breaks, counters, and unlockable special techniques that let you tweak your build as you go. The hand-drawn animation gives every hit satisfying impact, and the music keeps the pace energetic without overwhelming the atmosphere. Whether you play solo or with a friend in co-op, the constant sense of progression makes each attempt feel rewarding and encourages you to experiment with new approaches every time you jump back in. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is a beautiful action platformer where you play as Ori, a small spirit guardian on a quest to save a young owl named Ku and restore a dying forest. The story picks up after the first game, with Ori and friends living peacefully until a storm separates them, sending you on an emotional journey across a massive, interconnected world. The gameplay is all about precise platforming and exploration. You'll run, jump, dash, and use various abilities to navigate through gorgeously detailed environments filled with secrets. Combat has been expanded from the first game, with a variety of weapons and spells you can equip, letting you customize your playstyle, whether you prefer close-range sword attacks or shooting projectiles from a distance. As you explore, you'll gain new movement abilities like grappling and burrowing that open up previously inaccessible areas, which is classic Metroidvania design. The difficulty can be tough but fair, with challenging chase sequences and boss fights that require quick reflexes and learning enemy patterns. What really stands out is the hand-painted art style and orchestral soundtrack that create this incredibly atmospheric experience. Some moments are genuinely breathtaking. Super Mario Party Jamboree brings the party game series back with its biggest collection of boards and minigames yet, perfect for playing with friends locally or online. The basic setup has you and up to 3 other players rolling dice and moving around colorful game boards, collecting stars and coins while trying to sabotage each other with items and events. Each character has their own unique dice block with different number spreads, so choosing your character actually affects your strategy for moving around the board. The minigames happen after each round, and they're the real highlight. There are over 110 of them, ranging from skill-based challenges to luck-based chaos, and they use every feature of the Switch controllers in creative ways. Some games have you working together in teams, while others are free-for-alls, and the variety keeps things fresh even after multiple play sessions. The boards themselves have unique gimmicks and events that shake up the gameplay, like one board where you're racing on a rainbow road, or another set in a western town with showdown mechanics. There's also a bunch of side modes, including rhythm games, sports challenges, and a mode where you can play mini-games back-to-back. Red Dead Redemption brings Rockstar's legendary Western to the Switch, and it's honestly amazing to have this massive game on a portable system. You play as John Marston, a former outlaw forced by government agents to hunt down his old gang members in exchange for his family's freedom, and the story takes you across a dying Wild West, transitioning into the modern age. The open world is huge, spanning deserts, frontier towns, and Mexico, filled with side activities like hunting, gambling, bounty hunting, and random encounters with strangers who need help or want to rob you. The shooting mechanics use a cover system and the iconic Dead Eye ability that lets you slow down time and mark multiple targets for quick takedowns, which feels incredibly satisfying when you're in intense gunfights. You'll spend a lot of time on horseback traveling between locations, and your horse isn't just transportation. You need to bond with it and keep it healthy, and losing it actually feels meaningful. The story missions are varied, ranging from classic shootouts and train robberies to more unusual tasks, and the characters you meet along the way are memorable, with strong voice acting and motion capture.
That's it! Kill those little varmints! Good shot! You're a good shot, Mr. Marston. Them rabbits didn't stand it.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is a massive JRPG that wraps up the trilogy with an emotional story about soldiers from two warring nations who team up to uncover the truth about their world. The game takes place in Ionios, where people are born as soldiers with only 10 years to live. And you control 6 main characters, 3 from each nation, who become outlaws when they refuse to fight each other, and instead search for a mysterious place that might change their fates. The combat happens in real time as you move around the battlefield, with each character having a specific role, like attacker, defender, or healer. And you can issue commands to your party while also controlling one character directly. The class system lets you switch between different fighting styles, and you can even combine 2 characters temporarily into a powerful fusion form called Ouroboros, which has unique abilities and deals massive damage. The world is absolutely enormous, with diverse regions ranging from lush forests to mechanical wastelands, and you'll spend 80 to 100 hours exploring every corner if you do the side content. Character development happens through both the main story and optional hero quests, where you recruit additional party members, and the voice acting brings these characters to life with genuine emotion. Persona 5 Royal is a stylish JRPG where you're a high school student who gets framed for a crime and sent to Tokyo on probation, only to discover you can enter a supernatural world and change corrupt people's hearts by stealing their twisted desires. During the day, you attend school, build friendships, work part-time jobs, and improve your social stats. While at night, you explore elaborate mental palaces with your group of misfit friends known as the Phantom Thieves. The combat is turn-based, where exploiting enemy weaknesses gives you extra turns, and you summon creatures called personas that have different abilities and elements. You can collect and fuse hundreds of them to create stronger versions. Time management is crucial because every activity takes up time slots, so you need to balance dungeon crawling with social activities, though the game gives you enough time to do most things in one playthrough. The Confidant system has you building relationships with various characters, and these aren't just side stories. Each relationship unlocks new abilities that help in combat or give you more options during your daily life. The presentation is incredible, with a jazz-inspired soundtrack, slick menu animations, and an art style that oozes personality in every frame.
Persona! Go down!
NieR Automata is an action RPG set in a post-apocalyptic future where humanity has fled to the moon and sent androids to fight the machine lifeforms that have taken over Earth. You primarily play as 2B, a combat android, and her reconnaissance partner 9B, as they carry out missions for the android army, but the story goes way deeper than a simple war between machines and androids. The combat is fast and fluid, mixing hack-and-slash action with bullet-hell shooting sequences. You can equip different weapon combinations, dodge enemy attacks with precise timing, and your floating companion Pod provides range support and special abilities. What makes this game unique is its structure. You'll actually play through the story multiple times from different perspectives, and each playthrough reveals new information that completely recontextualizes what you thought you understood about the characters and world. Bow, Path of the Teal Lotus, is a hand-drawn Metroidvania inspired by Japanese folklore, where you play as Bow, a celestial fox on a mission to restore balance to a world corrupted by an ancient evil. The story takes you through various regions of a mythical Japan, where you'll meet characters based on yokai and legendary creatures, each with their own problems tied to the spreading corruption. The gameplay focuses on exploration and combat, using your staff, which has multiple abilities. You can swing it for melee attacks, use it to bounce off surfaces and enemies for extended airtime, and unlock different techniques as you progress. Movement feels really fluid once you get the hang of chaining bounces together, and the levels are designed to reward skilled players who can maintain momentum through tricky platforming sections. As you explore, you'll find spirit shrines that give you new abilities like dashing or wall climbing, which open up previously unreachable areas in classic Metroidvania fashion. The art style is gorgeous, with hand-painted backgrounds and character animations that look like they're straight out of a traditional Japanese painting. And the attention to cultural detail in the environments and enemy designs is impressive. Kirby and the Forgotten Land takes Nintendo's pink puffball into his first fully 3D adventure, and it's honestly one of the most polished and creative games on the Switch. The story has Kirby getting sucked through a portal to a mysterious world that looks like a post-apocalyptic version of our modern civilization, where he needs to rescue Waddle Dees who have been kidnapped by the Beast Pack. The gameplay is classic Kirby. You inhale enemies to either spit them out as projectiles or swallow them to copy their abilities, and there are tons of copy abilities like Sword, Fire, Ice, and Drill that completely change how you play. The new addition is Mouthful Mode, where Kirby inhales huge objects like cars, vending machines, or light bulbs and uses them to solve puzzles and reach new areas. It's hilarious and surprisingly functional. Levels are designed with multiple objectives like rescuing Waddle Dees, finding hidden collectibles, and completing specific challenges, which gives you reasons to replay stages. The game is accessible enough for younger players, but has plenty of challenge for experienced gamers, especially in the post-game content and boss rush modes. Between levels, you'll return to Waddle Dee Town, which grows as you rescue more Waddle Dees, unlocking minigames and shops where you can upgrade your copy abilities with blueprints found throughout the game. Unicorn Overlord is a tactical RPG from Vanillaware that combines real-time strategy with deep character customization and a classic fantasy story about reclaiming your kingdom. You play as a prince who was forced into exile as a child when your kingdom was overthrown, and now you're leading a liberation army to take back your homeland from the tyrannical forces that destroyed it. The gameplay has you moving units across large battlefield maps in real time, but when your units engage enemies, combat plays out automatically based on the skills and formations you set up beforehand. Before each battle, you'll arrange your characters into squads and assign them specific tactics and abilities, which means the preparation phase is just as important as the actual fighting. You can recruit dozens of different character classes to your army, from knights and archers to wizards and flying units, and each one has unique skills that synergize with others in different ways. Between battles, you'll liberate towns, gather resources, complete side quests, and build relationships with your army members through conversations that unlock new abilities and story details. The game has gorgeous, hand-drawn art that Vanillaware is known for, with incredibly detailed character sprites and backgrounds that look like painted illustrations.
I have you!
It's up to you. I shall protect you. Does this suit you?
Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is an enhanced version of the challenging JRPG, where you play as a high school student who gets transported to a demon-infested wasteland version of Tokyo and fuses with a powerful being to become a Nahobino. The story follows your journey through this apocalyptic world called Dot, as you're caught between warring factions of demons and angels, with humanity's fate hanging in the balance based on the choices you make. The combat is turn-based and uses the press turn system, where exploiting enemy weaknesses gives your team extra actions, but hitting resistances costs you turns. So every battle is about identifying patterns and building a balanced team. You'll recruit demons by talking to them during battles, and these conversations aren't scripted. You need to choose dialogue options based on each demon's personality, and sometimes they'll just refuse to join or demand items before cooperating. The Demon Fusion system lets you combine two demons to create stronger ones, and you can pass down skills to customize your team exactly how you want, which is essential because the game doesn't hold your hand with difficulty. Vengeance adds a completely new storyline route with different characters and story developments alongside the original narrative, giving you two distinct paths to experience. Kingdom Come Deliverance drops you into a realistic medieval Bohemia in 1403, where you play as Henry, a blacksmith's son whose village gets destroyed by invading forces, killing his family and forcing him on a path of revenge. The story follows Henry as he joins the service of a local lord and gets caught up in political conflicts and warfare while trying to track down the people responsible for his village's destruction. This game goes for historical realism over fantasy, so there's no magic or dragons. Instead, you're dealing with the harsh realities of medieval life, including hunger, sleep, and maintaining your equipment. Combat uses a directional system, where you aim your attacks and blocks at different zones around your opponent, and you need to master timing and combos to succeed. Plus, Henry starts as an untrained fighter, so you'll genuinely struggle early on until you practice and improve your skills. You'll learn real medieval skills like swordplay, archery, lockpicking, pickpocketing, and even reading, with each skill improving through use and training. The open world is massive and detailed, filled with historically accurate towns and castles where NPCs follow daily routines, and you can approach quests with multiple solutions, including stealth, combat, or dialogue.
Ma?
The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom continues Link's journey after Breath of the Wild, as he and Zelda discover an ancient evil sealed beneath Hyrule Castle that breaks free, causing the castle to lift into the sky and spreading corruption across the land. The story sends Link on a quest to find Zelda after she disappears during the incident, while he explores a transformed Hyrule that now features floating sky islands above and mysterious depths below the surface. The core gameplay builds on Breath of the Wild's foundation, but adds new abilities that completely change how you interact with the world. Ultra Hand lets you grab and connect objects to build vehicles and contraptions. Fuse allows you to combine weapons and materials to create unique tools. Ascend lets you phase through ceilings to reach higher areas. And Recall reverses an object's movement through time. These abilities turn the game into a physics sandbox, where you can solve puzzles and challenges in countless creative ways, from building flying machines to reach sky islands, to crafting specialized weapons for specific enemies. The weapon durability system returns, but Fuse makes it less frustrating because you're constantly creating new weapon combinations with different effects and stats. Animal Crossing New Horizons puts you on a deserted island as part of Tom Nook's Getaway Package, where you'll build a community from scratch and transform empty land into your personal paradise. There's no traditional story or end goal. Instead, you create your own daily routine of activities like catching bugs and fish, digging up fossils, picking fruit, planting flowers, and designing your island exactly how you want it. The game runs in real time, matching your system clock, so the time of day and season affects what activities are available, which creatures appear, and how your island looks, encouraging you to play a little bit each day rather than binging. You'll gradually attract animal villagers to move onto your island, and each one has a distinct personality type that affects their dialogue and daily routines, and building friendships with them through conversations and gifts is a big part of the charm. The crafting system lets you make furniture, tools, and decorations using materials gathered from your island, and you can place items almost anywhere outside to customize your space. As you progress, you unlock the Island Designer app that lets you terraform your island by creating cliffs, water paths, and custom ground patterns, giving you full creative control over the landscape. Pokemon Legends Arceus takes the series in a new direction by sending you back to the ancient Hisui region, which later becomes known as Sinnoh, during a time when people feared Pokemon and the concept of training them was just beginning. You play as a teenager who falls through a space-time rift and joins the Galaxy Team, an organization working to create the region's first Pokédex by studying Pokemon in their natural habitats. The gameplay shifts away from the traditional gym structure and instead focuses on exploration and research across several large open areas filled with wild Pokemon roaming freely. You can catch Pokemon by sneaking up and throwing Pokeballs directly at them without entering a battle. Or you can engage them in combat first to weaken them, and different species react differently to your presence, with some fleeing and others attacking on sight. The battle system is turn-based, but uses a new speed-based turn order, where faster Pokemon and certain move styles can let you attack multiple times before opponents get a turn. Each Pokemon has a Pokédex entry that you complete by performing specific research tasks, like catching multiples, seeing them use certain moves, or defeating them in particular ways, which adds goals beyond just catching one of each species. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the ultimate version of Nintendo's racing series, bringing together all the DLC from the Wii U version, plus new content and refinements that make it the most complete kart racer on the market. The game doesn't really have a story mode, but it offers championship cups where you race across 48 tracks that span the entire history of Mario Kart, from classic recreations to entirely new designs. The core racing mechanics are easy to pick up with simple controls for acceleration, drifting, and using items, but mastering the drift boost system and learning optimal racing lines gives the game surprising depth. The anti-gravity sections let you drive on walls and ceilings, completely changing how tracks are designed and adding a unique twist where bumping into other racers gives you both a speed boost. You can choose from 42 playable characters, each with different weight classes that affect handling and speed. Plus, you can customize your vehicle with different kart bodies, wheels, and gliders that change your stats. The item system provides the chaotic fun the series is known for, with classics like red shells and banana peels alongside newer additions, and the items you get are balanced based on your position in the race. Bayonetta 3 brings back the stylish witch for another over-the-top action adventure, where she fights to stop interdimensional creatures called homunculi from destroying multiple realities across the multiverse. The story follows Bayonetta as she teams up with alternate versions of herself and a new witch in training named Viola to track down powerful entities called Chaos Gears before they fall into enemy hands. The combat system is built around combo-based melee attacks, using Bayonetta's gun-equipped limbs, and the signature Witch Time mechanic lets you slow down time by dodging enemy attacks at the last second, opening them up for devastating counterattacks. The new addition is Demon Slave, which lets you summon massive demons and control them directly in real time, while Bayonetta continues fighting alongside them, letting you coordinate attacks between multiple characters for huge damage. You can equip different weapons that completely change your combo options, from swords and hammers to whips and claws, and each weapon has unique properties and special moves. The game introduces multiple playable characters, including Viola, who has her own fighting style and mechanics focused on parrying rather than dodging. Splatoon 3 continues Nintendo's unique take on team-based shooters, where the goal isn't eliminating opponents, but covering the most ground with your team's colored ink. Set in the sun-baked Splatlands region with the new hub city Splatsville, you play as a customizable Inkling or Octoling who can swim through ink of their color and transform between humanoid and squid forms. The main mode is Turf War, where 2 teams of 4 compete to cover the arena with their ink in 3-minute matches, and you'll use a huge variety of weapons, from rapid-fire shooters and long-range chargers to paint rollers and bucket-style slosher weapons. Each weapon has different stats for range, damage, fire rate, and mobility, plus special weapons that charge up as you ink turf, ranging from protective shields to area denial bombs and support abilities. The movement system is incredibly fluid. Swimming through your ink refills your tank and lets you move quickly, climb walls, and set up ambushes, while enemy ink slows you down and damages you if you stay in it. Beyond Turf War, there's ranked battles with modes like Splat Zones, Tower Control, Rainmaker, and Clam Blitz that require more strategic team coordination. Luigi's Mansion 3 puts Mario's nervous brother in the spotlight as he explores a haunted hotel to rescue his friends from the ghostly clutches of King Boo. The story begins with Luigi, Mario, Peach, and some Toads accepting an invitation to a luxury hotel, but it turns out to be a trap. Everyone except Luigi gets captured and trapped in paintings, forcing our green-clad hero to overcome his fears and clear the hotel floor by floor. The gameplay revolves around using the Poltergust G00 vacuum to capture ghosts by stunning them with your flashlight's strobe bulb, then sucking them up while they struggle and try to escape your beam. Each floor of the hotel has a completely unique theme, like a medieval castle, museum, movie studio, or pyramid tomb, and every floor has its own special ghost boss with puzzle mechanics you need to figure out. The major addition is Gooigi, a gooey clone of Luigi that can squeeze through barriers and walk on spikes, and you can switch between Luigi and Gooigi instantly to solve environmental puzzles that require both characters working together. The slam mechanic lets you bash captured ghosts into the ground or into other ghosts for extra damage, and the suction shot fires a plunger that lets you tear away shields or destroy parts of the environment to find secrets. Blasphemous 2 is a dark Metroidvania set in a nightmarish religious world where you play as the Penitent One, a silent warrior trying to stop the birth of a prophesied child that could doom the land of Custodia. The story continues from the first game, with you exploring a twisted realm filled with grotesque creatures and tragic characters cursed by mysterious religious forces. And while the narrative is cryptic, talking to NPCs and finding items slowly reveals the disturbing lore. The combat is challenging and methodical. You need to learn enemy attack patterns and time your parries carefully because mistakes get punished hard. And this time, you can choose from 3 different starting weapons that completely change your playstyle with unique combos and special moves. As you explore the interconnected world, you'll unlock new movement abilities like wall climbing and air dashing that open up previously inaccessible areas, which is standard Metroidvania design but executed really well here. The game has incredible pixel art with detailed animations and disturbing enemy designs that create this oppressive gothic atmosphere throughout. You'll upgrade your health and damage by finding items and spending currency at altars. Plus, there's a prayer system that gives you special abilities like healing or powerful attacks with cooldowns. Pikmin 4 is a strategy adventure where you command armies of plant-like creatures called Pikmin to rescue stranded space travelers on a mysterious planet filled with hostile wildlife and environmental hazards. You play as a customizable rescue team member searching for Captain Olimar and other castaways, and the story unfolds as you explore different areas and piece together what happened through the people you save. The core gameplay loop has you throwing different colored Pikmin at obstacles and enemies. Red Pikmin resist fire, blue ones can go underwater, yellow ones conduct electricity, and each type has specific uses for solving puzzles and taking down creatures. Your new companion is Ochi, a space dog who can carry Pikmin, break down barriers, and even let you ride him, which adds a whole new dimension to exploration and combat. Each in-game day is timed, so you need to manage your tasks efficiently and make sure all your Pikmin get back to the ship before nightfall or they'll die to predators, though the game is more forgiving about this than earlier entries. Combat involves overwhelming enemies with Pikmin swarms while minimizing losses, and larger creatures require strategic targeting of weak points. The game introduces night expeditions where you defend a base against waves of enemies using glow Pikmin, which completely changes the usual gameplay pace. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD is a remaster of the Wii game that tells the origin story of the Master Sword and shows how the cycle of conflict between Link, Zelda, and Ganon began. You play as Link, a student at the Knight Academy in Skyloft, a civilization that lives on floating islands above the clouds. And when Zelda gets pulled down to the mysterious surface below by a dark force, you set out to rescue her and uncover ancient secrets. The game is more linear than recent Zelda titles, with distinct areas you access from the Sky Hub rather than one open world. But each ground region is densely packed with puzzles and challenges. Combat originally used motion controls to swing your sword in specific directions to bypass enemy defenses, and while the HD version adds button controls as an option, many puzzles and enemies are still designed around directional attacks. Your sword is actually a spirit named Fi, who provides hints and gradually awakens as the Master Sword through collecting sacred flames in each region. The dungeon design is some of the best in the series, with complex puzzles that span multiple floors and really make you think about using your items creatively. Celeste is a precision platformer about a young woman named Madeline, who decides to climb Celeste Mountain despite struggling with anxiety and self-doubt. And the story uses the mountain climb as a metaphor for overcoming personal challenges and mental health struggles. The narrative is genuinely touching and deals with heavy themes like depression and panic attacks in a respectful way, with characters you meet on the mountain each dealing with their own issues. The gameplay is built on simple mechanics. You can jump, dash once in any direction before touching the ground, and climb walls for a limited time before your stamina runs out. These basic moves combine to create incredibly challenging platforming sections that require precise timing and quick decision-making, but the game respects your time with instant respawns and frequent checkpoints. Each chapter introduces new mechanics, like moving platforms, dash crystals that refresh your dash mid-air, or wind that pushes you around, keeping the challenges fresh throughout. The difficulty is seriously tough, and you'll die hundreds of times per chapter, but the controls are so tight and responsive that deaths always feel like your mistake, rather than the game being unfair. Super Mario Maker 2 gives you all the tools to create your own Mario levels and share them with players worldwide, while also offering a story mode with over 100 Nintendo-designed courses. The story has you rebuilding Princess Peach's castle by completing construction jobs that are actually Mario levels, and these courses do a great job teaching you creative ways to use different elements and mechanics. The level creation tools let you build stages using assets from multiple Mario games, including the original Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World, New Super Mario Bros. U, and Super Mario 3D World, each with their own physics and unique items. You can place enemies, platforms, power-ups, and environmental hazards anywhere you want, then test your level before uploading it for others to play. The game includes a ton of items and mechanics from across Mario history, plus new additions like slopes in the original game style, the on-off switch blocks, and even Link as a playable character with his own moveset. Course World lets you browse millions of user-created levels sorted by difficulty, popularity, and tags, so you can find exactly the type of challenge you're looking for. Astral Chain is an action game from Platinum Games, where you play as a rookie police officer in a futuristic city, dealing with interdimensional creatures called chimeras that are corrupting reality. You're part of an elite task force called Neuron that uses captured chimeras called legions as weapons, and the story follows you and your twin sibling investigating the source of these invasions while uncovering conspiracies within the government. The unique combat system has you controlling your character and your legion simultaneously. You attack with your X-Baton weapon while directing your legion to strike from different angles, creating combos by coordinating both characters. You can equip 5 different legion types throughout the game, each with unique abilities like the Sword Legion for fast attacks, the Arrow Legion for range support, or the Beast Legion for tracking and riding. The chain connecting you to your legion isn't just visual. You can wrap it around enemies to bind them, string it between posts to create tripwires, or use it to deflect projectiles. Between action sequences, you'll investigate crime scenes using your legion's abilities to find clues, analyze evidence, and question witnesses, which adds detective gameplay to break up the combat. Live Alive is a unique RPG originally released in Japan that features 7 different storylines set in completely different time periods, from prehistoric times to the distant future, each with its own protagonist and gameplay style. You can play these chapters in any order you want. There's a kung fu master training a successor in ancient China, a wandering gunslinger in the Wild West, a ninja infiltrating a castle in feudal Japan, and more. And each story is self-contained, but they all connect in a final chapter that reveals how everything ties together. The combat system uses a grid-based battlefield where positioning matters because attacks and abilities have specific ranges and patterns, so you need to think about where to move your characters and time your actions carefully. Each chapter plays differently from the others. The ninja chapter focuses on stealth, where you can avoid most fights. The wrestler chapter is structured like a fighting game tournament, and the sci-fi chapter has more horror elements with puzzle solving. The battle system might seem simple at first, but it has depth, with timing-based mechanics where pressing buttons at the right moment increases damage or reduces incoming hits. Characters learn new abilities through leveling up, and each protagonist has a unique skill set that fits their story theme.
You're done!
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is a challenging 2D platformer where DK and friends must reclaim their island home from the Snowmads, a group of Viking invaders who've frozen the island and taken over. The story is simple. You're traveling through different themed islands to reach your home and defeat the Snowmad leader, but the gameplay is what really shines here. You control Donkey Kong through incredibly well-designed levels that require precise jumping, rolling, and timing to navigate past enemies and environmental hazards. And you can bring along a partner character like Diddy, Dixie, or Cranky Kong, who each provide different abilities. Diddy gives you a jetpack for extended jumps, Dixie lets you hover with her ponytail, and Cranky can bounce on his cane like a pogo stick to cross spikes. The level design is fantastic, with multiple paths through each stage, hidden collectibles like puzzle pieces and KONG letters that unlock extra content, and secret exits that lead to bonus stages. Each world has a distinct theme, like a jungle, savanna, or underwater area with unique mechanics. There are minecart levels, rocket barrel sequences, and swimming sections that all control differently. The difficulty is genuinely tough, and later levels will test your platforming skills seriously, but the controls are so responsive that it always feels fair. Metroid Dread continues Samus Aran's story as she investigates a mysterious transmission from planet ZDR, suggesting the X-parasites still exist. But upon arrival, she's attacked by a Chozo warrior and loses her abilities, stranded deep underground while being hunted by near-invincible robots called EMMI. The story gradually reveals the truth about the Chozo civilization and Samus's connection to them, while exploring themes of survival and what it means to be the galaxy's most feared bounty hunter. The gameplay is classic Metroidvania exploration, where you'll backtrack through interconnected areas as you gain new abilities like the Morph Ball, Spider Magnet for climbing walls, and various beam weapons that open up previously blocked paths. The EMMI zones create intense stealth sections where these robots patrol specific areas and instantly kill you if they catch you. You have to use the environment to hide and time your movements carefully, and there's a frantic, split-second counter opportunity if you're grabbed, but the timing window is incredibly tight.
Dragon Quest XI's is a massive JRPG where you play as the Luminary, a young man who discovers he's the reincarnation of a legendary hero. But the kingdom brands you as a demon, and you become a fugitive, hunted by the very people you're destined to save. The story follows your journey to gather allies, uncover the truth about your destiny, and stop the dark force threatening to destroy the world. And it's a classic good versus evil tale, done really well with memorable characters and genuine emotional moments. The combat is turn-based, where you select actions for your party members from menus, but you can see enemies on the map and choose whether to engage them, rather than dealing with random encounters. You'll build a party of diverse characters throughout the adventure, each with their own skill trees, where you spend points to unlock new abilities, stat boosts, and passive skills, letting you customize how each character develops. The pet power system activates special super moves when characters get fired up during battle, and combining specific party members creates powerful team attacks that can turn the tide of difficult fights.
Fight, and fight some more!
Sea of Stars is a turn-based RPG inspired by classic games like Chrono Trigger, where you play as two kids named Valir and Zale, who are training to become solstice warriors with the power to use sun and moon magic to fight against an alchemist, creating monsters. The story follows their journey from childhood training through their mission to stop these creatures called Dwellers. And along the way, you'll meet a cast of memorable characters who join your party and bring their own personal stakes to the adventure. The combat system is turn-based, but keeps you engaged, with timed hits. Pressing buttons at the right moment during attacks increases damage, and timing your blocks reduces incoming damage, so you're always actively participating, rather than just selecting moves from menus. Each character has different abilities tied to their magic type, and enemies have locks that you need to break by hitting them with specific damage types before they can unleash powerful attacks, which adds a strategic layer to party composition and move selection. You can swap party members mid-battle without using a turn, letting you adapt to different enemy types on the fly. The game features beautiful pixel art with dynamic lighting effects that make environments feel alive. And there's no random encounters. You see enemies on the map and can choose to engage or avoid them.
A Short Hike is a relaxing exploration game where you play as a bird named Claire, visiting a provincial park. And your goal is to hike to the top of the mountain to get cell phone reception so you can receive an important call. The story is simple and heartwarming. There's no combat or failure states, just you exploring a charming island at your own pace, while meeting quirky animal characters who each have their own small stories and requests. The core mechanic revolves around collecting golden feathers scattered throughout the island. And each feather increases your stamina, which lets you climb higher, glide farther, and explore more of the map. Movement feels great, with running, climbing, and gliding mechanics that give you freedom to traverse the terrain however you want. And as you gather more feathers, you can reach new areas and discover shortcuts. You'll find various activities scattered around, like fishing, racing, playing a beach stickball game similar to volleyball, and helping other visitors with simple tasks that reward you with coins or more feathers.
The art style uses a pixelated, low-poly aesthetic with a painterly filter that gives it a unique, cozy look. And the draw distance lets you see the entire island from high points, which helps with navigation. The soundtrack is gentle and peaceful, perfectly matching the game's laid-back atmosphere.
Super Mario RPG is a remake of the SNES classic that blends Mario's platforming world with turn-based RPG mechanics, where Bowser kidnaps Peach as usual, but then a giant sword crashes into his castle and sends everyone flying in different directions. The story has Mario teaming up with unexpected allies, including Bowser himself, to stop the Smithy Gang, mechanical invaders from another dimension who've taken over the castle and are wreaking havoc across the Mushroom Kingdom. The combat is turn-based, but incorporates timed button presses. Hitting A at the right moment during attacks deals extra damage, and timing your defense reduces incoming damage or can even nullify it completely, which keeps battles engaging and rewards player skill. You'll build a party of 5 characters throughout the game, including Mario, Mallow, a cloud person who thinks he's a tadpole, Geno, a star spirit possessing a doll, Bowser, and Princess Peach, though only 3 can be active in battle at once. Each character has unique special moves that require different timed inputs, from button mashing to holding buttons or hitting specific timing windows. The game is structured with an overworld connecting various locations like forests, mines, and castles, each with puzzles to solve and secrets to find. Fire Emblem Three Houses is a tactical RPG where you play as a mercenary who becomes a professor at the Officers Academy, a school that trains students from 3 different nations who are living in a fragile peace that's clearly building toward war. The story has you choosing one of 3 houses, the Black Eagles, Blue Lions, or Golden Deer, each led by a different noble heir with their own perspective on the world. And this choice determines which students you'll teach and which side you'll fight for when conflict inevitably breaks out. The game is split between 2 phases. During the school months, you explore the monastery, talk to students and faculty, participate in lectures where you train your unit's skills, and build relationships through shared meals and activities. Then, during mission months, you lead your students into turn-based tactical battles on grid maps. Combat follows the weapon triangle system, where swords beat axes, axes beat lances, and lances beat swords. Plus, magic and ranged units add more strategic depth. And permadeath is an option, where losing a unit in battle means they're gone forever, unless you're playing on casual mode.
Only a fool challenges me.
Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury combines a polished port of the Wii U game with an entirely new open-world Mario adventure, giving you 2 distinct experiences in one package. The main game has Bowser kidnapping fairy-like Sprixies instead of Peach for once, and Mario, along with Luigi, Peach, Toad, and Rosalind, must travel through the Sprixie Kingdom to rescue them across multiple themed worlds. The gameplay is 3D platforming with a level-based structure rather than open exploration, and up to 4 players can play together locally, with each character having slightly different abilities. Peach can float, Luigi jumps higher, Toad runs faster, and Mario is balanced. The standout power-up is the cat suit that lets you climb walls, pounce on enemies, and scratch at close range, completely changing how you approach levels and find secrets. Each stage is packed with creativity, from circus-themed levels to shadow worlds where you can only see your silhouette, and there are 3 green stars plus a stamp to collect in every stage for completionists. Bowser's Fury is the new addition where you explore Lake Lapcat, an open area where you collect cat shines while dealing with Fury Bowser, a massive kaiju-sized version of Bowser who periodically emerges and rains destruction across the map. Animal Well is an atmospheric exploration game with pixel art, where you wake up in a mysterious underground world filled with strange creatures and cryptic puzzles. And there's no explanation or tutorial, you just start exploring and figuring things out. The game doesn't have a traditional story told through dialogue or cutscenes. Instead, the narrative emerges through environmental details, strange imagery, and the connections you make between different areas as you uncover the well's secrets. Movement is simple, with running, jumping, and using items. But the game is built around having multiple layers of depth, where you'll revisit areas with new items and notice details you missed before. And some puzzles have solutions that won't even make sense until you've explored completely different sections. You'll collect various tools like a bubble wand that creates platforms, a frisbee for hitting distant switches, a lantern for lighting dark areas, and a yo-yo for stunning enemies. And each item has multiple creative uses beyond their obvious function. The creatures you encounter follow clear behavioral patterns once you observe them, and while they can kill you, there's no real combat system. You avoid threats, manipulate enemy positions, or use items cleverly to get past them. The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom flips the series formula by putting Princess Zelda in the protagonist role for the first time in a mainline game, as Link gets captured by mysterious rifts that are swallowing Hyrule, and it's up to her to save the kingdom. The story has Zelda investigating these rifts that are tearing holes in reality and pulling people and places into a strange, still world. And she's aided by a fairy companion named Tree, who gives her the power to create echoes. The core gameplay mechanic revolves around the Tri-Rod, which lets you copy almost any object or defeated enemy, and then summon those echoes to solve puzzles and fight battles, giving you a completely different playstyle than traditional Zelda combat. Instead of swinging a sword yourself, you might summon enemy echoes to fight for you, create water block echoes to reach high ledges, spawn beds to bounce on, or use boulder echoes to weigh down switches. The game gives you tons of options and rarely forces specific solutions. Super Mario Bros. Wonder revitalizes 2D Mario platforming with creative level design and the new Wonder Flower mechanic that completely transforms stages in unpredictable ways mid-level. The story has Mario and friends visiting the Flower Kingdom when Bowser fuses himself with a castle using a Wonder Flower, and you need to collect Wonder Seeds from various levels to reach and stop him. The core gameplay is classic 2D Mario platforming, with running, jumping, and power-ups, but each level contains a Wonder Flower that triggers wild transformations. Pipes might suddenly grow legs and start walking around. You could transform into a Goomba and navigate as an enemy. The entire level might shift to a musical rhythm game, or gravity could reverse completely. These wonder effects make every stage feel unique because you never know what's going to happen, and they create genuine moments of surprise and delight that keep the formula fresh. The new elephant power-up lets Mario transform into an elephant that can swing his trunk to attack enemies, break blocks, and spray water to reveal hidden platforms or grow seeds into climbable vines. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is a Metroidvania where you play as Sargon, a member of the elite Persian warriors called the Immortals, who must enter the cursed Mount Kaf to rescue the kidnapped Prince Ghassan from an unknown threat. The story unfolds as you explore the mountain, which exists outside normal time, causing past, present, and future to blend together, and you'll encounter various characters trapped in different time periods while uncovering the truth about the kidnapping and a conspiracy within the Immortals. The combat is fast-paced and skill-based, with light and heavy attacks, parrying, dodging, and a variety of unlockable abilities that you can combo together in different ways. And enemy encounters demand quick reflexes and pattern recognition, especially during the challenging boss fights. As you explore Mount Kaf, you'll gain time-based abilities like creating a time clone that mimics your actions, teleporting back to a marked location, or slowing down objects. And these powers are essential for solving environmental puzzles and reaching new areas. The platforming is precise and demanding, with sections that require you to chain multiple abilities together while avoiding hazards. And the game includes some seriously tough optional challenge rooms that test your mastery of the movement system.
Armed with his swords, Sargon can slash through his enemies and perform impressive juggling combos.
Menelaus' bow. What's going on?
You can also wield a powerful bow, greatly enhancing offensive and defensive abilities with its dual purpose.
Octopath Traveler 2 is a turn-based JRPG where you choose from 8 different protagonists, each with their own complete storyline, abilities, and starting location across the continent of Celestia. The characters range from a dancer seeking revenge, a merchant pursuing riches, a hunter tracking a legendary beast, a scholar searching for knowledge, an apothecary helping the sick, a thief stealing from the corrupt, a warrior protecting his homeland, and a cleric spreading her faith. And while their stories start separately, you'll recruit all of them and discover how their paths intersect. The combat uses a turn-based system with the boost and break mechanics. Each turn, you gain a boost point that you can spend to power up your actions, and enemies have shield points that you break by hitting them with their weakness types, which stuns them and makes them vulnerable to massive damage. Each character has a unique path action they can use in towns, like buying items from NPCs, fighting people to obtain their gear, bribing for information, or befriending characters to bring them into battle as support. And these actions open up different solutions to quests. The job system lets you assign secondary jobs to each character, mixing their unique abilities with new skill sets to create powerful combinations and diverse party compositions.
Here I come. My blade sings.
Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door stands out as one of the essential adventures on Nintendo Switch, thanks to how well it blends exploration, light platforming, and a turn-based combat system that rewards timing and attention. You move through a world built entirely from paper, where each area has its own personality, puzzles, and characters that feel lively without leaning on cliches. Battles use action commands that ask you to press buttons with the right rhythm to boost damage or defend, keeping every encounter interactive instead of passive. Outside combat, Mario gains transformations that let him glide as a plane, slip through thin gaps, roll into tight spaces, or float across water, giving the overworld a playful layer of discovery. Partner characters add both new abilities and story flavor, and switching between them becomes part of solving environmental challenges. The writing mixes humor with a surprisingly engaging storyline, told across distinct chapters that keep the pace fresh without spoiling surprises. Altogether, it's a polished, charming RPG that offers strategy, exploration, and personality in equal measure, making it a must-play for anyone looking to enjoy a memorable Switch experience. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is one of the standout action games available on Nintendo Switch, thanks to its sharp mix of tight platforming, fast combat, and modern pixel art flair. It carries the spirit of the classic series by pushing you to master timing, dodges, and quick strikes while navigating levels packed with hazards and enemies that punish hesitation. You play as Kenji Mozu, a young ninja facing a demonic uprising, and the adventure gains extra depth through his uneasy alliance with Kumori, a kunoichi from the rival Black Spider clan. The two can combine their abilities through a special fusion technique that lets you unleash stronger moves and switch strategies on the fly. Exploration is supported by hidden paths, optional challenges, and upgrades that reward players who dive deeper into each stage. The art direction leans heavily into a gritty, retro look without feeling old, with expressive animations and environments that shift from burning villages to shadowy temples. Combat music and ambient tracks add to the rhythm of each encounter, making every fight feel energetic without overwhelming the player. Altogether, the game delivers a polished, demanding experience that respects the roots of the franchise while offering enough variety and personality to stand out as a must-play on Switch. Super Mario Odyssey earns its place as a must-play on Nintendo Switch, thanks to how effortlessly it blends exploration, platforming creativity, and a sense of adventure that keeps you engaged from one kingdom to the next. The game lets you wander through a wide range of colorful worlds, each filled with unique challenges, secrets, and playful interactions that reward curiosity rather than rushing ahead.
Mario's partner, Cappy, transforms the platforming formula by letting you capture enemies and objects to gain their abilities, opening up new ways to solve puzzles and navigate tricky terrain. Each kingdom feels like its own mini sandbox, encouraging you to experiment with movement, try new approaches, and hunt for power moons tucked in clever spots. Even after finishing the main journey, there's a surprising amount of optional content that invites you back for tougher challenges and deeper exploration. Responsive controls make every jump feel precise, and the vibrant atmosphere pulls you in without relying on overwhelming spectacle. It's a game built around discovery and playful ideas, delivering a smooth and joyful experience that keeps offering fresh surprises. All these elements come together to create a memorable adventure that stands tall as one of the essential titles worth experiencing on Switch. The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening on Nintendo Switch is a standout adventure that reimagines a classic Game Boy title with a playful diorama-style aesthetic that feels both fresh and nostalgic. You control Link, stranded on the mysterious Koholint Island, and your goal is to explore diverse environments, solve clever puzzles, and conquer dungeons to collect magical instruments and awaken the Windfish. Combat is precise, with sword swings in multiple directions and a parry mechanic that rewards timing, while optional hero mode offers a tougher challenge for those seeking more difficulty. Exploration is deeply satisfying, enhanced by warp points and a map pin system that lets you mark treasures, secrets, and key locations, encouraging curiosity and thorough investigation. A unique feature, the Chamber Dungeon, allows you to create custom dungeons from rooms you've cleared, adding replayability and a creative twist on the traditional Zelda formula. The charming visuals, with their toy-like characters and tilt-shift effects, give the world a whimsical yet immersive feel, and the soundtrack complements the atmosphere perfectly. With its engaging puzzles, memorable characters, and a tightly designed world, Link's Awakening delivers a compact but deeply rewarding experience that ranks among the must-play games on Nintendo Switch. The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky First Chapter on Nintendo Switch is a must-play for anyone who enjoys story-driven JRPGs with strategic combat and a richly detailed world. You follow Estelle and Joshua Bright, young bracers traveling across the Kingdom of Liberl, encountering political intrigue, personal challenges, and a cast of memorable characters along the way. The game's hybrid battle system combines real-time movement with turn-based commands, allowing you to dodge attacks, build powerful combos, and strategically plan moves with the Orbment system, which customizes magical skills and abilities. Exploration is rewarding, with towns, dungeons, and hidden secrets that encourage curiosity, while quality-of-life improvements like turbo speed make traversing the world and battles smoother without losing depth. The 3D remake brings vibrant visuals, expressive character models, and a remastered soundtrack that enhances the atmosphere, creating an engaging and immersive experience. Dialogue and character interactions are rich, giving the story emotional weight and making each side quest feel meaningful. With its combination of thoughtful gameplay, compelling narrative, and strategic combat systems, Trails in the Sky First Chapter delivers a satisfying and polished JRPG experience that stands out as a must-play title on Switch.
Follow my lead, Joshua!
The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild is a must-play on Nintendo Switch because it completely redefines open-world adventure with a sense of freedom rarely seen in games. You awaken in a vast Hyrule with minimal guidance and are free to explore mountains, forests, and deserts at your own pace, uncovering shrines, hidden treasures, and secrets along the way. The world reacts dynamically to your actions. You can climb nearly any surface, glide across valleys, manipulate physics to solve puzzles, and use ingredients to cook meals or craft elixirs that give unique advantages in combat or exploration. Weapons and tools break, which encourages creative problem-solving rather than relying on one overpowered item. And the environment itself becomes a strategic tool in encounters. The art style combines painterly visuals with a living, breathing world that feels both expansive and intimate, and the soundtrack enhances the atmosphere without overwhelming it.
Exploration is highly rewarding, with hundreds of objectives that are optional but satisfying to discover. Breath of the Wild encourages experimentation, patience, and curiosity, delivering a deeply immersive experience where every player's journey feels unique, making it one of the most essential and genre-defining experiences available on Switch. Hades 2 on Nintendo Switch is a must-play roguelike action RPG that builds on everything that made the original so compelling, while introducing a fresh perspective through the story of Melinoe, the immortal princess of the underworld, on a mission to challenge Kronos, the Titan of Time. Combat is fast, fluid, and deeply rewarding, with a range of legendary weapons, magical upgrades, and boons from Olympian gods that allow for a wide variety of playstyles and strategies. Each run feels unique thanks to procedural elements, secrets, and systems like familiars, reagents, and the Altar of Ashes, while permanent progression and a God mode make the game accessible without diminishing the challenge. The world itself is richly realized, full of gods, monsters, and spectral characters, and the story unfolds dynamically with each attempt, giving weight to victories and defeats alike. Visually, Hades 2 maintains Supergiant's signature hand-painted style, with polished 3D character models and a captivating soundtrack that makes every battle feel cinematic. Optimized for Switch performance, the game runs smoothly, and cross-save support ensures your progress follows you between devices. With its engaging combat, evolving narrative, and deep replayability, Hades 2 delivers a thrilling, stylish, and addictive roguelike experience, making it an essential title on Nintendo Switch. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles on Nintendo Switch is a must-play tactical RPG that combines a gripping story with deep strategic combat. Set in the war-torn kingdom of Ivalice, you follow young noble Ramza Beulf and his childhood friend Delita as they navigate political intrigue, betrayal, and moral dilemmas. Battles unfold on isometric 3D grids where terrain, positioning, and turn order all influence success, demanding careful planning and strategy. The game features over 20 job classes, each with unique abilities, allowing players to customize their party and experiment with combinations to tackle challenges in different ways. This edition offers both a classic mode, preserving the original graphics and gameplay, and an enhanced mode with fully voiced dialogue, updated visuals, improved UI, autosave, and a beginner-friendly difficulty option, making it accessible to newcomers without losing its depth. Exploration, story-driven missions, and optional side quests provide hours of engagement, and every choice in battle and character development can impact outcomes. With its intricate tactical systems, compelling narrative, and flexible gameplay, Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles delivers a richly rewarding experience, cementing its status as a must-play title on Nintendo Switch. Super Mario Galaxy plus Super Mario Galaxy 2 on Nintendo Switch is a must-play collection that brings two of the most imaginative 3D Mario platformers into one polished package. Players travel across colorful, gravity-defying planets, each offering unique platforming challenges and clever puzzles that constantly keep you thinking about movement, momentum, and timing. The game's core mechanics, like spin attacks, gravity shifts, and varied environmental hazards, are as inventive as ever. And the addition of a co-op mode lets a second player assist by collecting star bits, making it a fun, shared experience. Enhanced visuals, smooth 60 frames per second performance, and refined controls make both adventures feel fresh, while new storybook chapters add narrative depth and extra charm. The collection also includes a soundtrack mode with over 150 orchestral tracks, letting you revisit the memorable music that accompanies each galaxy. Whether exploring vast planets solo or enjoying co-op sessions, the clever level design, imaginative worlds, and dynamic gameplay create a sense of constant discovery and joy. This collection delivers two timeless adventures that capture the essence of Mario platforming, making it a must-play experience for anyone on Switch.
Never a doubt.
Hollow Knight Silksong is a must-play on Nintendo Switch for fans of challenging Metroidvania adventures, building on the strengths of its predecessor while adding speed, agility, and fresh depth. You play as Hornet, exploring the sprawling insect kingdom of Farloom, a world filled with misty moors, cavernous tunnels, and towering structures that encourage vertical movement and careful exploration. Hornet's acrobatic combat, wall dashes, and aerial strikes feel faster and more fluid than in the original, making every encounter and platforming challenge engaging and precise. The game offers a huge variety of enemies and more than 40 bosses, each requiring strategy, timing, and skill. And a special mode increases the stakes for those seeking extreme difficulty. Crafting mechanics allow you to create weapons, traps, and tools that open new ways to approach both combat and exploration, rewarding creativity and experimentation. Visually, the world is rich and atmospheric, with detailed environments that make each area feel alive, while the sweeping orchestral soundtrack enhances tension and discovery. Tight controls, demanding challenges, and a world packed with secrets combine to make Silksong a deeply satisfying, skill-based adventure and one of the standout, must-play action games on Switch. And that's the list. 50 must-play Nintendo Switch games that showcase the best the console has to offer. Whether you're into action, strategy, racing, or just exploring at your own pace, there's something here for everyone. Let me know in the comments which games you've played and what your favorites are. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to Switch Top for more Nintendo Switch content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.